we interrupt this medieval Let's Play to find out who just got abducted by aliens. Hi, this is Cass from Aussie Cass Plays, and welcome back to the royal generation of my Medieval Legacy Challenge. You may have noticed that my toddler has a makeover. I got a hot tip from someone in the comments. It was Miss Norrington Sims 6536. I believe I've got that right. If I haven't, my apologies. Who recommended a new Cass creator that I hadn't really encountered before for medieval stuff, which is a creator called Ingeli. I think that's how you say it. Where are you going, child? That particular creator not only has a ton of medieval outfits for adult frame sims, but they actually, in the download for the dress or whatever it is, you get the outfit for the toddlers, infants, and children as well. What is happening? Just eat the chicken, Lily. Come on. She's in the servants' quarters now. She's going rogue. But that means I've basically given her and her sisters complete makeovers. Not for sleepwear, though. See, look at this. She's got, like, big floofy dresses on. Now, obviously, we had the terrible death of our butler in the last part. So when I Googled some fixes, because apparently this is a problem with the live-in service mod and nannies specifically. I think it's because the way the game works is each object in the game sends out a ping of you can interact with me. Oh honey, she's like, I'm gonna sleep in here where the ghost of my beloved former nanny resides. Anyway, what I was saying, the objects in the game send out pings. So like a toilet sends out a ping being like, you can relieve your bladder here, and it just does that based on the amount, like the score of it. So that's why like a fun 10 object will get more attention than a fun 1 object, because it pings more strongly. And I think the way the toddlers work for the nannies, I could be wrong, but this is how it works for objects. I think the way the toddlers work for the nannies is anytime their motives are low, they completely override anything, and it will... you know how infants work in this game, right? Like, your Sims will drop everything and all of them will converge. And I think the nannies do that to the point where they don't have any sense of self-preservation. I feel a bit better. I'm sad that I killed Fiona's childhood nanny. I didn't mean to, but, you know, it happened. It is what it is. Grandma, can you put me to bed, please? Actually... because that is Aimee, right? Maybe actually I'll wrestle. Oh, we can't ask for a bedtime story from Aimee. Oh, Lily is aggressive. It's becoming clear that Princess Lily, who is our crown princess, is a little more aggressive than other toddlers. Aggressive toddlers like to roughhouse and are quick to hit, bite, or kick Sims. So long as they aren't good friends. They don't even have to be angry. Watch out. Okay, love that for us. I mean, her needs are terrible. Maybe that's why she's lashing out. She did just go through a significant trauma. In the last part, she witnessed the death of her beloved nanny. Maybe that's what's going on. I'd say she needs therapy, and maybe she does, but she's a little bit out of luck because this is medieval times. Oh, hello. The nanny's doing things with the baby. Can you change her? Carmen's actually a sim that has existed in this save file. Like, her family have existed probably since very early on. And we've kind of never really interacted with them at all. Like, they may have wandered past in the background, but I figured it was her time to shine. She's nobility, but she's low-tier nobility. Because the thing is, to be a governess for the royal family, you would need to have some kind of pedigree to start with. Oh, why was there a horse in there? I have never noticed that animation, or if I have, I've forgotten. Oh, Edward's family oriented. Look, I'm surprised he wasn't already given his aspiration, but that's super cute. Edward has received a letter. Yes, it looks like a book, but it's the best I can do. He's heard back from Willow and Queen Arya of the Fae. They've organised for a meeting to take place at the Ward Estate. Obviously, his mum and his sister are here at the moment, so he's planning to travel back with them to the Ward Estate. This is a meeting between an emissary for the Fae and himself to discuss the terms of an alliance between the two kingdoms, quote unquote kingdoms. I mean, I guess they do have a queen, so technically the Fae are also a kingdom. The forest that the Fae live in is part of the territory of Windenburg. It falls within the boundaries of that. So I don't think the Sims, like the human Sims, would acknowledge it as a separate kingdom, because that'd be like giving away part of their territory, but it is effectively a kingdom. So I was thinking Desiree would probably go too, because I don't think currently Edward is traveling without protection. First blowout milestone. Oh, that's fun. I really need to get Edward out of here. Like, this is driving me crazy. So the first thing I'm going to do, because we do currently have a stayover in effect, I'm actually going to end the stayover because I want those Sims to travel home. And then he's going to travel with them. So the sun is setting and the group is finally arriving at the water state. It's been an all-day journey. There's been no issues. So with Desiree and whatever security Princess Aimee travels with, because there's no way she's traveling without protection as well. So they have arrived. So we're going to dismount. This is Dancer, by the way. This is the foal of two of the royal horses. Yeah, you can calm down there, Melody. You can calm down. Gabriel and Henry are waiting out the front, which is very cute, as was Felix. So all of the Sims that were already still at the house. Oh, yeah, actually, no, Desiree would be proper. Also, Horse, hello. So he's saying hello to his little brother, little Henry. The guests are waiting inside. So Gabriel's, let's offer some gratitude for hosting this. And Gabriel's saying, look, that's fine. It would be good to see the war with the vampires come to an end in a conclusive fashion. So I've decided we've formed a group and we're going to have them go in and sit in the library because it's kind of the best space for discussions. Although we may have to use the ballroom because there are more Sims involved than I have in this group. And there's only like 5 seats in here. Let's have a discuss interests and have a deep conversation with Felix. Am I hearing... Wait, what am I hearing? Wait. Someone just got abducted by aliens! What the hell? Who was that? I mean, it wasn't either of my Sims. I doubt it was the horse. We interrupt this medieval Let's Play to find out who just got abducted by aliens. There are no aliens. Maybe there are. Maybe the aliens who built the Egyptian pyramids or whatever, other aliens that just abducted whichever poor Sim was out here repairing the windmill. Seriously, I'm a little bit worried it was one of the Fae ambassadors, which would be quite funny because the Fae are aliens in this world. Bartholomew, no! It was Bartholomew! Yes, he's one of the guests. Cool. Well, you know, I was actually thinking if it was Bartholomew or Benedict, who's his son, who is our other guest, that... Oh, he's not. I was actually thinking, given that they live with the Fae, it wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility that one of the two of them slept with a Fae and did actually have a baby. But I would expect the pregnancy to be more traditional because I don't know that impregnating the male Sim is something that would happen in this universe where they are Fae, not aliens. But he's not. It's fine. It was Bartholomew. We've had to avoid starting this whole thing while we waited for the alien abduction to end. And now I guess we can return to my regularly scheduled medieval Let's Play. So I'm going to start by having Edward say hello to the other 2 Sims because obviously I do need to have him talk to them so that we can all sit together as a group. Benedict's also had a little bit of a glow up in terms of his CC just because I had new CC and I wasn't afraid to use it. All right, I've also got Edward going to go and introduce himself to Bartholomew, who is still outside. Poor Bartholomew. Now, you'll see he's got a hood on. It's obviously he is wanted in this kingdom. If the knights saw him, they'd be very shocked to see him here and probably would immediately execute him. I mean, we could have them talk outside, but I feel like Bartholomew probably doesn't want to be outside anymore. Let's sit here. So Benedict has... Bartholomew, well, Benedict and Bartholomew, but Bartholomew is the one talking, and I should have learned by now not to give my Sims the same letter, first letter for a name, because I always get confused. But he's brought the news that Queen Arya has said that the only way she will consider an alliance is if the Kingdom of Windenburg proves that it is a forgiving and tolerant partner, given that they obviously declared Bartholomew wanted, Emily dead when she wasn't, so they cut her off from her family. All of that from Arya's point of view is horrifying, especially for the quote-unquote crime of giving her heart to the person that she actually loved, or woohooing out of wedlock. Obviously the Fae don't feel the same way about that, and Bartholomew's explaining all of this to Edward. Gabriel and Bartholomew had a falling out over Emily, but they have had a bit of a chance to talk and reconcile a little. Aimee's very hostile towards her older sister. I love that she's picking flowers through the wall. The Sims in this are just driving me insane, I'm not going to lie. Yes, Aimee is very suspicious of Emily and her motives. So Amy's going to say to Bartholomew, what you're asking for is incredibly destabilizing to the kingdom and the throne. And Bartholomew's, I don't know if he's feigning ignorance or if he's actually a bit ignorant, but he's like, how so? And Amy's saying, well, because Emily could attempt to mount an argument that Benedict is the rightful heir to the throne. You can't pretend you don't know this, Bartholomew. And Bartholomew is like, my wife once upon a time did have those thoughts, but she now has embraced the life. We've lived with the Fae for 20 years. You know, we're comfortable living there. We don't want to come back to Windenburg. And Edward's saying, well, it would be important that for us to forgive the crime, that you would agree to that. You would need to put that in some kind of writing. You would need to sign something to say that you forfeit any claim to the kingdom, to the throne. And Bartholomew is like, I'm prepared to do that. We don't want the vampires to win this war. We've got no desire for that. And frankly, I'm not convinced that Windenburg can win the war against the vampires without the assistance of the Fae. As a non-Fae who lives with them, they're a powerful ally, and I think you need them. But there is a second problem. I'm going to have these two go somewhere a little bit more private to talk. He's taking him outside and he's going to offer a listening ear, and he's going to say, have you considered, uncle, because, you know, he is his uncle, have you considered that Emily has been declared dead, and the reason she was declared dead was at least in part to protect her reputation, because if the kingdom had found out that Emily had, if the kingdom had found out that Emily had breached her oath to the Order of the Watcher and, you know, done everything she did out of wedlock and all the rest of it, that would have destroyed her reputation. You know, has she considered that? Because if I were to forgive her crimes and your crimes, I can forgive your crimes. That's less controversial. And because you're my uncle, I don't actually think the citizens will be surprised. They'll assume that it was some kind of arrangement that my father requested, and they're not going to question that. If I were to announce that Emily was still alive and that she were married and had a child, it would tell everything about that story, because she swore herself to the Order of the Watcher. I get that she didn't want to, but she did. There's no way that she could be revealed as being still alive and having a child that wouldn't reveal that she was an oathbreaker. Is she prepared to accept that cost? Obviously, this is something Bartholomew and Emily have been thinking about. Bartholomew's saying she has mixed feelings about it, because she likes that the kingdom and the citizens, you know, she's like one of the beloved deceased princesses, because there was a third princess who died, who was Coral. But also, she doesn't want to come back here. So ultimately, the opinions of the citizens don't make a huge difference to her. It would be difficult for Benedict in particular to be seen in Windenburg and be known to be my child, and for people not to put together that he's related to your family. He very much bears the stamp of the royal family in his appearance. Obviously, the colouring is a huge part of it, because the reason Edward has red hair, and the reason why all of his kids have red hair, because apparently it's a dominant gene, is that he's related to Aimee, who is Emily's sister. Benedict showing up looking like a member of the royal family and a son of Bartholomew. If people believe Emily's dead, they might actually think that Aimee had Benedict, which that's not acceptable to Edward or to Gabriel, or definitely to Aimee. She doesn't want people thinking that she had a secret child with her husband's brother. So unless Benedict can disguise himself, he wouldn't be able to come back to the kingdom, because if people see him, they will know. And Bartholomew is saying that the intent of the Queen is that Benedict be an ambassador for the kingdom and live in Windenburg. So move to central Windenburg and, oh buddy, you need to pee. Move to central Windenburg and There's a goat here that's attacking me, and I love that for us. Yeah, you go to the bathroom. The upshot is the Queen wants Benedict to be her ambassador, which means Benedict has to come back. So either Emily is revealed to be still alive and to have broken her oath and married Bartholomew, or alternatively that Benedict comes back but in disguise. So I was actually going to leave which way we go with that up to you guys. I thought I'd see if you have any strong opinions. Edward's less invested in the reputation of the royal family. Well, I mean, he wants to maintain the reputation of the royal family, but unlike Gregory, his uncle, he's less concerned about what people think of Emily's behavior because he hasn't actually met Emily. Edward's like, she's a crazy aunt and she did some things that, you know, she broke an oath, but that's kind of on her. I could see that he'd be willing to announce that Emily had been discovered to be still alive and living with her secret husband, and it would be very scandalous, but I don't think he'd care as much. So it could go either way. I love that he's positioned himself in the throne position that Judith set up all those years ago. I love that. He's such a handsome boy. I actually think out of him and his cousin, out of him and Benedict, I think he got the good genes. Let me know what you think, because I could attempt to have Benedict dye his hair and come and be an ambassador in disguise. And, you know, red hair isn't a unique thing, but it's also the features more broadly, like the shape of the face and all that kind of stuff. People are gonna, if they look at him too hard, are going to be like, whoa. He could also just grow a really big beard. Anyway, let me know what you think. All right, so Desiree and Edward have travelled back home, and Bartholomew and Benedict are travelling back to where the Fae are to have a discussion with Emily. Basically, the decision is kind of hers, and also Benedict's in terms of what inconvenience he's willing to accept to protect his mother's reputation. Either way, Benedict will be in Central Windenburg. I'll move him into an ambassador's residence, and we'll look at the next supernatural that we need to get on side. Now, I just need to show you little Lily in her little outfit playing with her dolls. And it is the autumnal equinox. It's actually the infant's birthdays tomorrow. I'm going to do that in the next part. So in the next part, we could potentially have Lily become a child, Sarah and Rhea toddlers. At the point where they're toddlers, I'm willing to let these two try for baby again. The big question mark here is whether Lily is going to be the heir to the throne. It's going to depend on the next two babies. I think Lily at this point is too young to kind of understand what that means, but I think as a child she probably would. Given that she's already shown a bit of a temperamental personality, I don't know how she's going to take it. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I was planning on leaving it to random chance. She's got a 25% chance of ending up the queen. But I'm going to end this part here. If you've enjoyed, please like and subscribe. You know the drill. Don't forget to wash your hands. I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.